My humble salutations to the Holy Trio. My pranams to all the Matijis present here. My namaskars to all the dignitaries and guests, and to dear friends and sisters present in the audience. I'm sure it is after lunch, but we'll try to make it more interesting, and we would be happy if you also participate in thinking along with us. So, what are the 4 protecting shields for a woman? So, in this fast-paced world, women have to be self-protective. They have to be defensive in many ways, not just physically, but also mentally, socially, and spiritually. So here, when we got this topic of discussion, we dive deep into our own experiences, our own lives, and tried to frame few questions for ourselves and for you all, taking references from Holy Mother's life and in the light of Swamiji's teachings. So before spending much time on this, I would like to once again introduce all of us, starting with Bharani, Priyanka, I'm Charita, and Sravya. So without spending much time on this, we will open the panel for discussion with Bharani. Bharani, what is that one essential thing that a woman should possess, without which having everything else is meaningless?
I think one most essential thing that a woman should possess is purity. Now the question may come, what do we mean when we say purity? Simply, we'll try to understand. Anything that takes us closer to our inner self is purity, and anything that takes us away from our inner self is impurity. Now this is both internal and external. When we talk about internal, all our feelings, all our thoughts, sentiments, emotions, everything that uplifts our mind can be termed as purity, and anything that degrades our mind is impurity. And externally, it is about living an absolutely chaste life. And Holy Mother's life stands as a testament to it. Of course, when we talk about purity, I am reminded of a wonderful incident from Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi's life. It is when a woman was struggling to become pure and dipping herself in the Ganges. Holy Mother, looking at her dismay, affectionately called her and asked her to touch her, and reassuring that with this touch she will become pure. Now imagine what a gigantic personality Mother had. Just with a mere touch, she can make somebody pure. Her mind, irrespective of all the turmoil or chaos around, it was always dwelling on the highest plane. She had no other thought but God. She had no other feeling but just pure, unconditional love for everyone. And she had no other word to say but truth. She is Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi. She is purity personified.
Bharani, I have a question for you. What is the outcome of purity? Can you please give me an example?
So outcome, again, I would like to go back to Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi's life. Some of us may know, some of us may not know. But Holy Mother actually lived behind a veil most of her life. Nobody could actually see her directly, not most of the times. So this simple lady who lived her life behind a veil, she was in fact the source of guidance for everyone, be it great leaders like Swami Vivekananda or innumerable others who came to her. She always had the right things to say to the right people according to their temperament and situation. Now, this is the power of purity. Through purity alone comes such infallible command and in speech that can drive into people's hearts and transform. No amount of fancy words or vocabulary or diction has the power to do it. It is through purity alone. And one more example I would like to give here from Swami Vivekananda's life. When somebody asked Swamiji, what did you do to the audience? Why were they so mesmerized listening to you just for a couple of minutes? Swamiji simply replied that I did not do anything. It's not any magic. It is just the power of purity. I did not let even a single bad thought enter my mind. even in my dreams for the last 14 years. So this is what purity can do, and through purity and sahasa alone, great work can be accomplished. So yeah.
Bharani, how one can achieve such purity?
Yes, there are many ways, but the most easiest, simplest, and the powerful way is constant recollection of noble thoughts or doing Nama Japa of our own chosen deity, reminiscing about him, singing his glories. So, this is the primary way. And second is also meditation. Meditation doesn't simply mean just closing our eyes, but it also means introspecting about our thoughts, about our actions, finding what are the lower thoughts, higher thoughts, and silencing both of them. Another important way is Shraddha or faith in ourselves, in the Guru, in the words of Guru, teachings of Guru, and if possible, service to the Guru. Now, this doesn't mean only physically serving your Guru, but it also means practicing the teachings of the Guru. This is also a great service. Another way I can think of is living life in a good company, which actually inspires us to live a very noble life. And through this, I think we can understand that purity is the basis of everything, and through purity alone can anything be achieved, be it knowledge or modesty or anything. So now, like we have discussed that through purity knowledge can be achieved. Priyanka, what do you think? Does knowledge only mean collecting facts at an intellectual level, or is it something beyond that?
Yes, Bharani, we all know that knowledge is nothing but collecting of facts and the awareness what we get through them and the skills what we have acquired. So let me give an example here. Let us consider a ladder. So in ladder, let us take 3 steps. So the first step is intellectual knowledge. The knowledge what we possess through the mind. So this is the knowledge which we acquire through the mind from schools and colleges, and this knowledge helps us to fulfill our material needs. So if we consider this as first step, so there is something beyond this knowledge, because there is some power backside of this which is giving the power to our mind to possess these things. So let us go to this step 2, that is psychological knowledge. So this is the knowledge of the mind. So if we consider Bhagavad Gita, so the 5 horses which represents the 5 senses and the reins as the instrument of the mind. So there is something which is controlling the mind. So there is something back to this psychological intelligence, psychological knowledge. So that is spiritual knowledge. So the knowledge which we acquire through calming the mind. This is the highest knowledge one acquires in their entire lifetime, and this knowledge helps us to empower and uplift oneself. So if we consider these 3 steps, so step 1 is greater than step 2, and step 2 is greater than step 3. So in this way one can possess the highest knowledge, and this spiritual knowledge is also called as Shuddha Chaitanya. So through sadhana one can achieve this highest knowledge. So I hope you have understood.
Priyanka, then you have explained about knowledge very well. My doubt is, how can we use this knowledge to deal with the materialistic affairs which we deal every day?
Yes, Sravya. So this highest knowledge helps one person to become a moral and the modest person in their life. Sri Ramakrishna used to say always, Sri Sarada Amma came as Ma Saraswati in the form of human to impart this divine knowledge to all of us. Let me give 2 examples or the incidents from Amma's life. We all know that Swami Vivekananda was a very intellectual person. But Swamiji always used to take guidance from Sharda Amma whenever he used to start any work. So this shows that how intellectual Amma is. Not only Amma guided Swami Vivekananda, but also many sannyasis and the grihasthas. So this shows us that how intellectual Amma is. Not only that, once there was a sannyasi who was very confused on his sadhana, and he reached out to Amma, Amma, this is the thing happening. And Amma said that, how are you concentrating your mind? And then that sannyasi said, I'm concentrating on the mind itself. And then, no, that is not the right way. So first of all, you have to concentrate on your heart and then gradually take it up to the mind. So with this, that sannyasi felt that, Amma, how come you know that by seeing a person's face? So this incident shows us that how psychologically intelligent Amma is. So that is the knowledge of the mind. And there is one more example which says that how Amma is spiritually well knowledge. So through Mantra Diksha, Amma guided many of the sannyasis in her lifetime. And she imparted her divine knowledge to all the grihasthas, sannyasis, and everyone who is living out there with mother. And this shows us that how spiritually knowledge Amma is. And through her spiritual knowledge, Amma dealt many problems in her life and also helped all of us how to deal with our personal problems in our lives. So this shows us that how this highest knowledge helps us to deal with our material problems.
But Priyanka, how does this knowledge act as a protecting shield for women?
Yes, Akka, we all know that how this knowledge helps as a protecting shield to one woman. So, Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Chetaneti Abhidhiyate Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. So, she is the one who is living as the Shuddha Chaitanyam in everyone, and who is giving the divine knowledge to all of us in her hidden form, and she came as human form to give the divine knowledge to all of us. Not only that, Annapurne Sadapurne Shankara Pranavallabe Gnana Vairagya Siddhyardham Bhiksham Dehi Cha Parvati. She came as Ma Saraswati and Ma Parvati to serve all of us in the human form and to share the divine knowledge to all of us. So by acquiring this knowledge, one person becomes humble, modest, and also this gives the power to empower many people and the power to shine. I bow to her lotus feet by giving us this knowledge to deal with our problems, and that knowledge what we acquired by reading her books, by going through the experiences what Amma faced, so through sadhana, so we can get that protection by her divine knowledge. I bow to Sri Sharda Amma for giving us the divine knowledge to all the women out here. So in that way, this spiritual knowledge, which is also considered as highest knowledge, is protecting us every time, every minute and every day. So Charita, I have a question to you. So with this knowledge, one can acquire a morality. So can you let us know how one can acquire that morality through this knowledge?
Absolutely. So knowledge in itself, is it alone necessary, or is it enough for us to apply it in our daily life, or should we take it to the level of application and build values and uphold our principles in every moment of life? So, every time when we try to take these teachings to the application or whatever knowledge we have to the stage of application, we fumble. We fumble at what? Decision making. We don't know whether something is right or something is wrong. We don't know what is dharma. We are faced with such a challenge that we are forced to choose what is right or what is wrong, and we are not having any idea about it. So what helps us? What is the propelling force for us to guide at that time? It is the Viveka Buddhi. That means the discrimination between what is good and what is not good. I'll narrate you a small incident. Are you all ready? Would you like to hear a small story? So let me narrate you a small incident from Holy Mother's life. During the early years of marriage to Sri Ramakrishna was completely into highest form of sadhana. So people used to think, they don't used to understand his state of mind, so they used to call him a madman. So Sri Sharada Devi heard this and she felt very concerned. Why are they calling Sri Ramakrishna so? But inside, she had tremendous faith in Sri Ramakrishna's mission, that is to awaken millions and millions of people to the reality. So in future, as we would see, Holy Mother stood as Shakti, silent and profound power behind the spiritual mission. So this is what what did mother express here? Mother exhibited tremendous clarity of thought. And where did this clarity of thought come from? It came from morality. It came from the discrimination between right and wrong.
But Akka, there should be a yardstick to understand what is right, what is wrong. How can we align ourselves in this path of dharma? How do we understand?
Absolutely. So to again understand this, what is a yardstick for us to understand whether we are going in a right direction or wrong direction? Let's go to the practical Vedanta lectures of Swami Vivekananda. He says only one mantra for understanding it. That is, anything, please listen to it carefully, anything that takes us closer to oneness and purity is to be considered moral. And anything that divides us, drifts us, brings in jealousy, conceit between us, causes differences between us, is to be considered immoral. When we look into mother's life, imagine all the young friends present here during the early years of 1900s. A village lady, mother was from a very small village called Jairambati. There at that time there were staunch social barriers, isn't it? There was caste, creed and so many social barriers. During that time, mother showed her love to all, everyone. She invited everyone and fed. In fact, she fed a thief named Amjad. And she accepted. Everyone around was getting surprised. Why is mother crossing all social barriers? But mother was strong. She accepted all her disciples despite or without any divisions or seeing any differences in them.
Charita Akka, Sharadamma is all compassionate. She loves everyone equally. But how can we adopt such quality?
Very apt question. That's what many of us might be thinking. First thing that we should remember is we are all children of mother. So we should inherit the qualities of mother. Second thing, Swamiji makes it very to the point in his lectures from Practical Vedanta. He gives 3 points to us to make ourselves, build ourselves morally. First point is, he quotes from Vedanta saying, Vedanta recognizes no sin. Vedanta doesn't see any differences between us. Something is good or something is wrong. Swamiji in fact condemned this notion. Don't call anything right or wrong. We only differ in the degree of the manifestation. In more simpler language, in more simpler ways, let us try to understand we are all going in an ocean. Some of us might be in the ahead. And some of us might be behind. But we are sure to go to the shore, isn't it? Yes or no? So that's what. When we understand this, we will not see differences between each other or comment or jealousy or anything between each other. Second thing, Swamiji exhorted that we should have tremendous faith in ourselves. Tremendous faith. What is faith? He says, greatest people the mankind has ever produced had tremendous faith in themselves. Can we implement what we believe in, or can we stand to our values if we don't have faith in ourselves or what we believe in? Never. So Swamiji exhorted, you should have faith along with knowledge and the application. Next, not attaching ourselves to the weakness. Constantly we have to remind ourselves about the strength. This is what Swamiji said. First thing is what? Seeing everyone as equal. Second being faith. Third being always reminding ourselves about strength. This will make us morally strong.
So, okay, from Priyanka, Charita and me, we have from this discussion, we have understood that all these things are, protecting shields. Now, how do we see what is the person, how does a person with all these 3 look like?
The person who is containing all these qualities is compulsory having the quality which is very respectable. It is modesty. Modesty is the best sign of a person who is having all these qualities. As we all know, there is a Sanskrit verse, Vidya dadati vinayam, vinaya dhyati patrata. It means knowledge imparts modesty and discipline, and from this comes humbleness and worthiness. Worthiness to attain highest realization, which we have to strive for. Modesty is such a divine quality which is even praised by Lord Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita as one of the God-natured qualities. If we see that shloka, Ahimsa Satyam Akrodha Tyagashanti Rapaishanam Daya Bhuteshvaloluptvam Mardavam Hrira Chapalam. This is considered as a Daiva Guna. The person who is modest is always humble and accepts everything as God's will. For this, we can take Sri Sarada Devi as the best example. Why? Because she is the personification of modesty. When Sri Sarada Devi was 14 years old, she went to Kamarpur to serve Sri Ramakrishna and Bhairavi Brahmani and many others. At that time, we know Hriday, isn't it? He worshipped Shardamma and he worshipped her lotus feet. But the same man, after few years, when Sharda Devi and her mother returned from Jairambati to Dakshineshwar, he scolded them and cursed them to leave. Then, how was mother's reaction, you know? In both of these situations, mother's reaction was same. She made this as God's will. She said simply, "O Mother Kali, whatever you may wish, it may happen." See, this is the greatness of her modesty. If we see, mother has led such an astonishing life that a normal woman can't lead. But after leading such a great life, she simply says that I am just an instrument of him, means Sri Ramakrishna. This is the greatness of modesty.
Sravya, you are saying that a person becomes humble when he is modest. Is this the same humbleness that we have to show to our officers where we are working and to the higher officials?
No, Priyanka, it is different. We may be humble to our superiors, but it's just external modesty. But now I am speaking about the modesty which is grown up internally. This is more worth than external modesty. To understand this, we need to remember Sri Ramakrishna's sayings. He says that when a flower develops into a fruit, the petals of the flower drops off gradually. In the same way, when a person is spiritually progressing, their pride, ego, and everything vanishes. He also says that a tree which is laden with fruits always bends low. This is the inner modesty which we have to get.
Sravya, how do we adopt this modesty in the present times?
Actually, getting inner modesty or for everything, you know, we can take Sri Sharada Devi as an inspiration. I think that if we be externally modest, then we can gradually move to internal modesty. In this aspect also, Sharda Devi helps us. You know, Sri Sharda Devi, generally what do we do? How can we consider someone's modesty? Through their words, through their attire, through their works and thoughts. In all these aspects, Sri Sharda Devi is very modest. Okay. In this way, if we are also modest externally, then we gradually move on to our internal modesty. If we observe carefully, we can understand that these qualities protects us. These acts as a protecting shield also. How? If we are modest in our attire, we do not provoke anyone by any chance. So, it automatically protects us physically. And if we are modest in our words and in our work, it develops our self-confidence. If we are modest in our thoughts, it helps us to gain confidence, and moreover it fights with the evil qualities of ego, pride, jealous and everything. If we adopt this external modesty, gradually it helps us, it leads us to the internal modesty also. In this context, I would like to say a Sanskrit verse, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Lajja Rupena Samstita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. This tells us Divine Mother Sri Sharada Devi is residing in all of us in the form of modesty. I bow down to all the women who are assembled here, who is having modesty, even having many capabilities like all of you. We all are thanking you for giving us such a valuable opportunity. By this, I can say that all the qualities which we have discussed now, morality, modesty, knowledge, and purity, all these acts as protecting shields. Thank you for giving us this opportunity.